Okay guys, so welcome back to my channel and also welcome back to a very new video. So it's been quite a while since I made a video and I have been getting a lot of complaints. I'll explain all of that later in the coming videos, but let's now just head on to the video. See ya! Okay, so as the hook says, for the ones who don't know my name is Jasmine, and for the ones who know my name, you know who it is. So let's just, yeah, bad joke. So basically, it's been over 6 months since I have been here in Canada as an international student. Now I have been doing a master's degree in Canada, and it is one of the most important questions that I've been receiving over the last few, not days, I guess a few months, like what they should choose or what I should choose for doing in Canada. Probably you've already decided the fact that you will be doing your studies in Canada. It's just that you don't know what you should be doing. It could be a degree, it could be a diploma. Now you are like confused about which is better for yourself. So let's just head on to that. You know what? I got 10 important points to consider to know which is better for you, because I know you are from different backgrounds, and I get the point. Some people prioritize education over getting a PR. Some people prioritize getting a PR over doing an education. So we have to think about that and we'll get a balanced output at the end of this video. So what I have done is I have brought 10 major points to consider while choosing a diploma over degree or a degree over diploma, so that you can take the right choice and it will take you to the right destination at the end of your life. I mean it will take you to your goals. That's what I mean. Before we move on to the topic, just to let you know that I have now got an iPad so that I can write down all the points and I can make sure that I'm not losing out on any, so that when I'm actually explaining things to you. So make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and also make sure that you share these videos to anyone who wants to come to Canada and wants to know about what is happening in Canada. If you also want to know about what is happening in my life, so it's a give and take, right? Yeah, that's how it goes. Enough bullshit, let's go on to the video. The first point that you should be considering is the level of education. You got a diploma here, you got a degree here. Now we'll talk about diploma first. We are going to branch out it into 2 to 3 types. One is normal diploma, advanced diploma, and one is a graduate certificate. It all comes under the term diploma. Now what happens is, like, diploma is usually a term used for anyone who wants to do a diploma right after 12th or something like that. You can do it after your bachelor's as well, but usually people do diploma after 12th. Now diploma is usually 1 to 2 years, 2 years like the most common one. Now there is another term called advanced diploma. Now, what is the difference between advanced and normal? Normal, the time duration goes on to 1 or 2 years, but in terms of advanced diploma, the term usually stands around more than 2 years. So it could go up to 3 or 4 years. If it is 3 years or more, it is an advanced diploma. That's how it goes basically. But the credit is very same. The level of education is very similar. You do advanced or diploma or normal diploma instead of doing a bachelor's. Now, there is another term called certificate or graduate certificate. It's called graduate certificate in some places. Some people call it graduate diploma. The name is different, but the term is same. I want to call it as graduate certificate because most of my friends are doing graduate certificate. So that's how I want to consider it for now. Graduate certificate is usually a kind of a diploma which usually lasts for 1 or 2 years. It is basically targeted towards the individuals who have done bachelor's before. So if you're someone who has done 12th and wants to do a graduate diploma, there's a good chance that they are not going to admit you, because their major chunk of students that they take in are doing a bachelor's or have done a bachelor's. That's the difference between that. So if you want to do diploma or advanced diploma, you can still do it after your 12th. But if you want to do graduate diploma or graduate certificate, you cannot do it after 12th. You always have to make sure that you are completing your bachelor's before doing that. Now we are done with the diploma. Let's talk about degree section. Now what happens in degree section is you got two major kinds of degrees. Everyone knows that: bachelor's and masters. Bachelor's are the degrees which usually tend from 3 to 4 years in time, Masters 1 to 2 years. Why I say 1 year? Because there are a lot of courses which don't really require 2 years of education just to do masters. So a lot of people come here to do just 1 year of masters or something like that. Also, in terms of the education requirements, what I know is if you're someone who wants to do a diploma, 12th after 12th, usually you can even land a good diploma in a college somewhere with a percentage of around 50 to 80% or something like that. 50% of more, that's what I basically mean. But if you want to land a degree or master's degree, it's not really easy to get into those courses sometimes, and you have to maintain an average of more than 70%. You can't get an admission into a university, into a degree, without having a minimum of 70% sometimes. For me, in my college, I think the least percentage that they accepted was 77%, and I am one of those people who got even with less percentage. But I will explain that later in my videos, how even with less percentage I was able to get into a university, and such a premium university. Definitely it goes on to everyone. You can get into universities, but it's not really easy here because they are getting loads and loads of applications and they have to filter out a lot of students. But that is not the same scenario in terms of colleges. Even if you have less percentage, as not as bad as like 20-30%, definitely at least more than 40 to 50%, you are still having a good chance of landing an admission in that college. So you can pretty much consider college as a safe destination and universities as a harder destination or a ambitious destination or something like that in Canada. It just goes on like that. So that's it for degree versus diploma. What are the branches or something like that. Now we'll be talking about the second point, that is the cost of study. Cost of study is a big major factor to consider. Now what happens is some would be taking loans, some would be selling house or whatever it is, some would be like putting the investment into this. So you have to make sure that you are taking the right decision at the right time. Now I know a lot of people want to save money. It is totally fine. But sometimes you have to put a little bit more money to get something better. It's just my personal opinion into this. I will let you know what I have to say. Now, if you are someone who wants to do a diploma right after 12th or bachelor's, whatever it is, the cost of diploma ranges from somewhere around 12,000 to 20,000 per year. It depends on the college. It varies according to provinces. I'll talk about Ontario in detail because I live in Ontario and I know a lot of friends who are doing their studies in Ontario. For them, what happens is like their usual fees, tuition fees. I'm not talking about anything else, just the tuition fees. The tuition fees ranges something around from 15 to 25,000 Canadian dollars every year. So if you convert it to Indian rupees, I'm not really sure how much it is, but if you consider it for 2 years, that 15 becomes 30 to 45,000. So you can look somewhere around 30 to 45,000 if you're doing a course of 2 years for diploma. And if you are someone who is doing a course of graduate certificate, so probably it's again the same range, but maybe $1,000 or $2 extra compared to diploma. So in diploma, if it is 15 to 20,000, for graduate certificate, the usual tuition fee goes around somewhere like 20 to 25,000. 20 to 25,000 if you're doing a graduate certificate for 2 years. You usually do 40 to 45,000 again. As the tuition fees is very similar. Now, if you are someone who wants to do a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, the fees is very higher than doing a diploma. Now what happens is like if you want to do a bachelor's degree, you're looking at somewhere around 25 to $35,000 per year. So if you want to do a bachelor's degree of 4 years, you would be looking somewhere around 75 to 100,000 Canadian dollars for all those 4 years of education. If you want to do a master's degree, you'd be looking somewhere around 20 to $30,000 again every year, and that makes it around like 40 to $60,000. It ranges on depending on the college and depending on the provinces. I mean university, because colleges provide diplomas and graduate certificate, and universities provide degrees. So you have to make sure that you are knowing about this. I know that some colleges are there which do provide degrees as well, but they don't provide master's degree. They just provide the bachelor's degree, because bachelor's after that bachelor's degree they do have this facility to let them do graduate certificates sometimes. So some colleges do that. Most of the colleges don't provide your degrees, but yeah, it's just an option in case you want to do degree. So that's it in terms of the cost of education. Now, the third point that you should consider is the documentation and the visa process involved in that. Now, documentation, what happens is like if you are someone who wants to do a diploma or something like that, when you're applying for admissions or something, the only documentation that you need is your bachelor's. I'm talking about someone who has done bachelor's, for example. What they need is your bachelor certificate, your passing certificate, your provisional certificate or something, all semesters, whatever you did, all that mark sheet if you have at max. Now, what happens is like if you're applying for degrees, all the documents that we mentioned before, plus you have to add documentations like letter of recommendations, LOR from teachers or the employers that you have worked with, maybe a professional master's resume. If you have it or not, you have to build a resume for in your behalf or something like that. They will ask for your internships and all that extra experiences that you have gathered over the past. You have to provide an SOP, that is a statement of purpose, explaining why you are good fit for this program or something like that. All of that bullshit comes into this. Now, in terms of visa process, what I would say is both have a very similar visa process, but in my experience, what I know is like the visa rejections for degree students or international students who want to pursue a degree is kind of less, but there are a little bit more rejections to students who want to do a diploma or something like that. The reason is the diplomas are commission based sometimes. Consultancies mostly like just wanna get new students or commissions. So what they do is like they send students out of the criteria sometimes. For example, if you're someone who wants to do a diploma, there's a good chance that the college will not have extra seats available for the same exact course during the same intake. So what happens is like they just get more students than what is available, that the number of seats that is available to them. So when there are more students coming, what Canadian government does is like just to regulate those number of international seats, they reject a few visas. But in terms of universities and degrees, they don't select more number of students than what is available to them. So that's one reason why university visa rejections are a little bit lesser compared to someone who is trying to apply for a diploma. The fourth major factor to consider is the field job expectations and the career growth. If you are someone who has done a diploma, you would probably see a difference in the salary that you get in comparison to a degree guy. Now, what happens is like if you are someone who has done a diploma, if you're applying for the same job, for example, you are applying for a role like business admin, something like that. No, let's look at a more technical job. If you are applying for a software developer, if you are done a diploma, there's a good chance that you will be settling around $50,000 to $60,000 every year. That is the per annum salary that you're gonna get. But just because you're done a degree, there's a good chance that for the same skill set, for the same company and the same role, you'd be getting around 70 to 75,000. That's a big jump in salary sometimes. So we talked about cost of education before. That eventually gets balanced here because you're gonna earn more money if you're done a degree rather than doing a diploma. Sometimes it happens, and I know examples of people already facing this issue. Also, in terms of career growth, what I know is someone who has done a diploma, it's really hard for them to do some career growth. Or what I mean by career growth is like grow into position. Sometimes who is a normal associate in a company will find it hard to grow within the company. Sometimes that is becoming an assistant manager, becoming a general manager, and going on further. But who has done a degree is able to acquire those positions in a very faster way. I'm not saying that diploma guys are not able to do that, but it's a little bit harder career growth for them because they have not showed the potential other than in the work experience. But someone who has done a degree is considered to have the potential to take managerial positions in future. So what companies usually do is like if you're done a degree, they will give you faster growth options sometimes, increment in your salaries and suddenly becoming a assistant manager because degree students are usually considered as more having the ability to work, do something more efficiently. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the fifth most major factor you should consider while diploma versus degree is the scholarship opportunities. Now, you may be someone who doesn't want to save money, or you may be someone who wants to save a lot of money. It depends on what kind of person you are, but I know that most of the people who are coming from India or some other third world nation or something like that usually want to stay a minimal life and don't want to spend a lot of money. So what I would suggest is look into the scholarship opportunities that your campus provides. Now, in terms, if you want to do a diploma, colleges are not really publicly funded, they're not government funded, so it's very less chance from their end to give you a scholarship. So it's kind of difficult to get a scholarship if you're doing a diploma or a certificate from a college or something. But if you're doing a degree in some university, universities are usually publicly funded, they're government funded, and there's a good chance that government will provide them the funds to give you scholarships. So you will more often find a lot of scholarship opportunities when you're doing a degree or something. If not a scholarship, they will provide you some other opportunities, some as a teaching assistant, or maybe some sort of researching assistant, or maybe some other on campus jobs within the campus or something like that. It all comes under scholarship opportunities and gives you stipend while you are actually studying. What I mean by stipend is like earning dollars while you are actually studying. It's not really simple for college students because it depends on the facilities you have. Most of the college students are not going to get scholarships based on their academics, but since degree and universities are usually focusing on academics a lot, that's why they start giving more scholarships, because academics matters a lot to them and it helps them in getting those higher rankings, sometimes getting into higher charts or something like that, which we'll talk later in this video. Now, the sixth major factor to consider a diploma or a degree is the academic approach. Now, if you're someone who is doing a diploma, what happens is like the colleges and the all those diploma providers usually they just focus on one topic and teach you everything regarding that topic just to land a job in some good company. But that is not how degree works. In degrees, what they do is like they go all around the topics, they go to all the related topics to that one particular topic and make you think really a lot. They will make you do a lot of work, extra work, all of that extra assignments. They'll make you pay a lot. But then that's where they prepare you for an even better challenge. They're not preparing you just for the job, they're going out of domain, sometimes just above and beyond, making you think about something that is not even in your syllabus. All of that comes under the degree curriculum. That's how degree goes here in Canada. But in diploma, usually, as I said, they just focus on getting a job. So basically, if we look at two different things, for example, colleges provide a diploma in artificial intelligence or maybe ML, but that's not how it works in universities. They provide master's degree in computer science, which has a specialization in artificial intelligence or maybe a specialization in ML. It goes on like that. They keep specializations to make sure you are able to concentrate on one thing, but still you have to do other basic things which is related to computer science. It's not about computer science goes on to every other subject. For example, if you want to do project management in diploma, they have this course called project management as a diploma. But when you go to universities, they don't keep project management usually. What they keep is doing a whole MBA course or maybe something like a management course where project management is a part of that. So degrees focus a lot on extracurriculars, extra things than the academics, but diplomas usually focus on just getting a jobs. I know a lot of YouTubers might have spoken this thing. Again, I'm repeating this because it's a very valid point and you shouldn't be missing on any of the valid points. Now, one seventh major factor that you should be considering is the networking opportunities and the alumni standing or something like that. If you want to know about the credibility of the course, make sure that you get connected to some of those people who have already done their education in that institute, in that diploma or course or something like that, through LinkedIn, and ask them about the review, ask them about how was their experience or anything like that. They will let you know if they had a good experience or not, because they are probably the examples of where you would land a job if you are doing that course sometimes. And for the degrees as well, you can ask the people who have done that degree in the past. You can ask them about where are they right now. You can get to know about how good the degree was, how difficult the degree was, or something like that. It goes on to both these courses, and usually what you'll tend to know is diploma people usually don't land in the highest in the field job areas. I know a lot of people who have done software diplomas still end up doing some sort of normal jobs. What I mean by normal jobs is like knock C level or knock B level jobs like sales rep or maybe something like that, even after doing a proper diploma course in technical field. But that's not how in degree does. Degree you get more exposure, a lot of job fairs come up, and a lot of companies prefer to have degree students sometimes. They easily land a co-op or something like that. They have a much better network, so they have professionals who are working in big companies at bigger positions. That's not the same case for diploma sometimes. They are getting jobs, they're getting good jobs, but they have to prove a lot to land in that position sometimes, because degree people are not really are in a position to prove a lot because they have already proved that through their education by doing all of that stuff. The eighth major point that you should be knowing about is probably the most important point that every international student wants to know, that is the chances of getting a PR. And probably if you are someone who is looking for PR would know that there's a term called CRS. So basically what is CRS? CRS is basically a score that is given to you as a person based on your previous data. What I mean by previous data, it could go up to your qualifications, your place of birth, your background, or maybe your work experience in the past. All of that counts towards the CRS score, and now the CRS score is the basis of getting a PR in Canada sometimes. So what happens is like these days we are having 500 as the score. A lot of people who have like done their diplomas and degrees still they are not able to get their CRS score at that threshold level, because it is really on a higher level these days. Everyone is highly qualified, and Canada cannot accommodate more than a specific number of people at a given time. So they always keep a set of cutoff sometimes to make sure that only the limited number of people are applying for the same exact position. What I mean by position, for PR. That's how it goes. So you always have to make sure that you know how much PR points that you're getting. Now usually what happens is like the CRS score for diploma, someone who has done a diploma, is okay. It's not really good. But someone who has done a diploma graduate certificate or something like that, they get yet a little bit more points than diploma. But someone who has done a degree or master's degree gets a lot more points compared to what someone has got a diploma or something like that. So it makes someone who has done a degree to be eligible for PR faster than someone who has done a diploma. I don't mean that diploma people don't get PR. No, it's not like that. It's just that these guys get a lot more extra points, CRS score, in terms of getting a PR. Okay, so another ninth factor that you should be considering is your university's credibility or the ranking. If you are someone who wants to do a diploma up here in Canada, probably you'd be doing a diploma in a college or something like that. It would be a part of the ranking, but it won't be a part of the global ranking. It would be a part of the Canadian university or college ranking, institutional ranking. But if you're someone who is doing a degree or something in a university, probably you are getting a much better credibility and much better chances of recognition outside the country. That means you are getting recognized in the world ranking sometimes. So, for example, my university is Northeastern. I'm doing my master's in Northeastern University, and the global ranking for university, my university is somewhere around 136 to 139 or something like that. That is a real good ranking in the global range. But if you're doing a college, it's not even in the 10,000 rankings. So you have to look at the Canadian ranking sometimes, because if you want to move out of Canada in future or something like that, that's when these kind of educational qualifications come into point sometimes. If you're done a diploma, probably they are not going to consider it as a very big, highly important piece of education. But if you're done a degree, someone who is an employer, who's someone who is in a different country, maybe for a Dubai example or something like that, they would consider your degree as a real major important piece of education, and they will be having more proof that you are eligible to do this job than someone who has done a diploma. So it happens sometimes, and not in today, but maybe in future when you come across those situations to leave the country or something like that. Another 10th major factor where I have to make you aware as well is the involvement of consultancies and agents. I did my whole process without getting involved with any of those consultancies. Of course, I got help from a few consultancies, something like IDP or something like that, because they're free. And I know a lot of my friends who have invested 20,000, 30,000 rupees just to land a good course in Canada or US, and that is not even good according to me. That's what I feel, because what they do is like they are gonna suggest you some random course in some random college, and you will feel like, okay, that is what is good for me. You end up being a student there, but it is giving them a lot of commissions. So basically they are getting commissions from the colleges for landing you all guys into those colleges. So don't get into those words that these consultancies say to you. They will suggest you all those bullshit advices like do this course in this college or something like that. That's not how it works for universities. That's why universities are considered premium here in Canada. You need to know that every university, most of the universities don't have any tie-ups with any of the consultancies that you would have heard in your city or something like that. That is why consultancies don't recommend you to go to universities. And trust me, if you have a good grade or something like that, make sure that universities are there in your priority list, because consultancies will throw your life into garbage. So make sure consultancies are not being prioritized from your end. You prioritize the education level from your end. Only after that, think about what consultancy says. If consultancy wants you to get better in life, probably they are gonna be suggesting you the universities first. That is possible. So now we have talked about all the 10 major points that you should be considering while choosing a diploma or a degree. Now, you know what? I'm not just a guy who has to throw knowledge at you. I want to be that guy who is able to suggest you things based on the qualifications you have. Now let me tell you one thing. What is my suggestions for you? If you are someone who is a student currently pursuing bachelor's or maybe 12th, and wants to seriously do education in Canada and wants to look into a field job, I don't want you to look into PR, because PR is everyone's motive, and once you have a good career, PR will come on its way. You don't have to work for PR. You have to work for your life, and PR will definitely be come as a byproduct. Now, if you're someone who wants just the PR, that's where I think you should start considering getting a diploma, because you will end up saving a lot of money, and not you don't have to use a lot of brains by doing a degree or something like that. But if you are someone who wants to have a good career, probably you have to work a lot to gain those skills to get a good career. So for that, what I would suggest is, even if a little bit extra money, just invest on getting a degree and do your degree in Canada, and probably that will help you a lot in your future. Landing good jobs in good greater companies, you will have more preference to a company rather than someone who has done a diploma. So companies always know that someone who has done a degree is capable of doing things more efficiently compared to someone who has done a diploma. They always consider degree students as better. I don't mean to say that the diploma is bad or something, but it's just the credibility and the investment that you put into it. I know a lot of friends. I got someone in my own house who, even after doing a diploma, was able to land a grand job. He is earning more than 140k an year or something like that. It happens. Exceptions are always there, but usually, the general standard says that someone who has done a degree is expected to land a better job compared to someone who has done a diploma. So that's how it goes. If you want to work hard, make sure that do a degree. You will put some extra money into it, but you will earn 10 times more than someone who has done a diploma. Now, if you're someone who just wants to come to Canada, just wants a PR or some or the other way, that's when I think you should be looking into diploma, and probably you will be spending less money compared to someone who is doing a degree or something like that. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that like button as strong as possible. Just don't break your phone, but definitely do hit that like button, and also share it to anyone who wants to know how the life in Canada works. I'll be there to answer all the questions, and I'm really sorry for delaying this video for you guys, because I was trying to make some money over the last few days, and I will definitely show you the money I earned over the next few days. And till then, let me know in the comment section what else you want to know. I'll definitely put time into it, and I'll make videos for you guys. Even if I don't have time, I'll make sure I'm losing my sleep and I'm making all those videos for you. So thanks for watching this video until the end, and see you in the very next video. Bye bye.